Remember when buying a phone felt simple? You walked into a store, paid a reasonable price, and used it for years without thinking about it. No contracts that felt like mortgages, no $300 screen repairs, no battery anxiety by mid-afternoon, no silent pressure to upgrade every 2 years just to keep your device usable. That world is gone. Today, a normal phone quietly costs you far more than a car payment used to. You pay $1,000 up front, then you bleed another $80 or $90 every single month. Then come the repairs, the insurance, the accessories, and before you even realize what happened, 2 or 3 years have passed and you're right back in the store doing it all over again. For many people, especially anyone living on a fixed income, the phone in your pocket has become one of the most expensive recurring bills in your life. Over 10 years, the average person doesn't spend a few $1,000s on phones. They spend a small fortune, and almost nobody ever stops to do the math. But now, a strange rumor refuses to go away. A phone priced around $200. A phone that might connect directly to satellites. A phone designed not to be replaced every 2 or 3 years, but to last most of a decade. And if even part of this turns out to be real, it doesn't just change what phone you buy. It changes the entire cost of staying connected. Not because of a feature, not because of a logo, but because it changes the rules of the game. Before we get carried away, let's be very clear about something. There is no officially announced product. There is no confirmed launch date. There is no way to buy this phone today. Anyone claiming otherwise is lying to you. But what does exist are public patent filings, supplier reports, and a very clear business pattern that tells us something interesting may be coming. So instead of hype, let's talk about reality. Let's talk about what would actually have to be true for a $200 phone to make sense. Let's talk about what it would need to do, where it would work, where it wouldn't, and whether it could truly save you money instead of just shifting where you spend it. And at the end, we'll talk about the only question that really matters. Would this actually work in real life? First, the obvious question. Can you buy it? No. Every image you've seen so far is either a concept render, an AI image, a 3D printed mock-up, or a fan-made prototype. Some scammers have even built fake websites that look professional and use logos they don't have permission to use. If anyone asks you for money for this phone today, that money is gone. Some supply chain rumors point to a window somewhere in the 2026 to 2027 range, but that's speculation, nothing more. The more interesting question isn't when, it's why. Why would a company even want to sell a phone this cheap? And that brings us to the real strategy. A $200 phone is not about making money on hardware. It's about getting people into an ecosystem. A car, a home battery, solar panels, satellite connectivity, software subscriptions, a long-term relationship instead of a one-time sale. In other words, the phone isn't the product, it's the door. And once you walk through that door, you're in a world where everything connects to everything else. This kind of thinking doesn't come from nowhere, it comes from pressure. Competition is brutal, margins are under stress, cheaper rivals are flooding the market, incentives are disappearing. And when that happens, companies stop thinking about selling expensive things to fewer people and start thinking about selling simple things to many people. That's how you change the game. But what does that mean for you? It means the math changes. Instead of paying $1,000 up front, you pay $200. Instead of being locked into a carrier charging you $70, $80, or $100 a month, you potentially pay far less. Over 5 years, that difference alone can be several $1,000s. And that's before we even talk about repairs. Now let's talk about the feature everyone keeps whispering about: satellite connectivity. The idea is simple. Your phone can connect directly to satellites overhead, not just to cell towers. That means in places where normal coverage disappears, mountains, highways, oceans, rural areas, disaster zones, you're still connected. But let's be honest about something. Physics still exists. Satellite signals are incredible outdoors. They struggle indoors. Thick walls, metal, concrete, and certain types of glass block them. That's not a design flaw, that's reality. So the only approach that makes sense is a hybrid one. Use normal cellular networks and Wi-Fi when they're available. Switch to satellite only when you actually need it. Think of it like a spare tire. You don't drive on it every day, but when you need it, it's priceless. And for emergencies, travel, storms, or outages, that kind of backup connection isn't a luxury, it's peace of mind. Will it be free forever? Probably not in the way people imagine. More likely there will be tiers, maybe a basic emergency level included, maybe a low-cost plan for light usage, maybe discounts if you already own other products. But even at $30 or $40 a month, you're still spending far less than most people are paying today. Over 5 years, that difference alone can pay for several phones. Now let's talk about the real hidden killer of modern smartphones, the battery. Most people don't replace their phone because it's slow. They replace it because the battery is dying, the screen is cracked, or something expensive broke. And batteries are the biggest lie in the industry. On paper, they look fine. In reality, after 2 or 3 years, they're exhausted. The interesting thing here isn't just capacity, it's lifespan. If you design a battery system to last 6, 7, or 8 years instead of 2 or 3, the entire ownership equation changes. You stop thinking about upgrades. You stop worrying about charge cycles. You stop carrying power banks like survival gear. You just use your phone. Add smarter charging, better thermal management, conservative charging limits, and suddenly the battery becomes something you trust instead of something you babysit. Now add something even more interesting: durability. Most phones today are fragile by design, beautiful, thin, and easy to break. And every drop creates that moment of dread before you pick it up. A phone built to survive real life changes your relationship with it. You stop treating it like a piece of glass art and start treating it like a tool. Stronger materials, better shock absorption, real water resistance, not marketing water resistance, the kind that doesn't panic when your phone meets rain, spills, or sinks. When repairs stop being normal, ownership gets cheaper without you even noticing. Over 10 years, the average person spends thousands just fixing and replacing broken phones. That money quietly disappears. Now imagine it doesn't. Then there's something even more personal: your data. Right now, your phone is not just serving you are serving it. Your location, your habits, your searches, your movements, all of it feeds systems designed to profile you, predict you, and monetize you. A company that makes money selling physical products and services doesn't need to treat your life like advertising inventory. If your data stays on your device, if processing happens locally, if you choose what leaves and what doesn't, that's not just privacy, that's dignity. Of course, there are trade-offs. Convenience always wants some access, but the difference is who's in control. Now we come to the place where almost every new phone dies: apps. Great hardware without apps is useless. So the only realistic path forward is compatibility, web apps, and partnerships. There's no other way. And if that part isn't solved on day one, nothing else matters. Finally, we have to talk about the big question. Is any of this guaranteed? No, nothing here is. This could still be delayed, or changed, or canceled, or quietly abandoned. That's why skepticism matters. The only things worth trusting are official announcements, independent testing, and real-world results. Not renders, not rumors, not pre-order pages, and definitely not anyone asking for your money today. But here's the part that's truly interesting. If a phone like this actually launches, and if it actually delivers even 70% of what it promises, it doesn't just compete with other phones. It makes them look irrational. Because it stops being about how much a phone costs and starts being about how much a phone costs you over your life. When you add up hardware, repairs, insurance, replacements, and monthly bills, most people are quietly spending the price of a car just to stay connected. A different model changes that forever. And that's the real story here. Not a device, not a brand, but a new way of thinking about ownership.